Tonight's the night. Jake Paul has another boxing match, and I wanted to remind you before we get into this video, just so you know that you are listening to somebody who's worth listening to. This is what I sent out for my last Jake Paul prediction. Now, I don't have a write-up or anything like that for this prediction. It's more straightforward. I'll probably talk about some of the things in this video, and then if you purchase the premium pick, you'll understand what side of the fence I'm on and where I'm coming from. My premium pick in this one is not who wins, but the distance. I don't think there is as much value on who wins in this one as there was last time. We absolutely hammered Jake Paul, minus 120. Unbelievable that it was a pick'em fight against Ben Askren. And then the big prediction was Jake winning by KO in round 1. And these were some of the videos that I pulled the most information out of that helped me come to that conclusion. But I don't think anybody nailed it on the head like I did last time. So I wanted to show you guys that just so you know who you're dealing with and just so you know that the source is credible. Because I see a lot of idiots giving predictions on this fight. And then I see a lot of MMA experts, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, especially if they have YouTube channels, they kind of have to come out and make their prediction. But I just wanted to let you guys know, or remind some of you, that I called this perfectly last time. Now, let's go to my website, which hopefully I can find. If you go to sbnation.com, you can get my premium prediction on this fight for $50. Now, this is a 5-unit play for the premium clients, and if you're on the MMA or the Fight Pass for the weekend or for the rest of the year, if you hopped on that special with me, then you already got this prediction. So it's one of my bigger bets. I'm extremely confident in how long the fight's going to go. The over-under is set at 3.5 rounds. So whether I go over or under, that is where I am investing my money in this fight. Now, I wanted to talk about some of the angles that I'm hearing, some of the reasons why people like Jake, some of the reasons people like Woodley. And I wanted to kind of debunk some of this stuff. I mean, some of this information that you're getting is information overload, and it's a complete waste, and it shouldn't put in any weight. I think one of the biggest things that is just completely frustrating for me to hear, and I've gotten to the point where I don't get frustrated by dumb opinions. I actually am thankful that there are so many dumb opinions, because that's what allows me to bet on sports for a living, and that's what allows us to make money betting on sports, because there are so many just uneducated opinions and horrible bettors out there that it gives us opportunity. But Tyron Woodley is not washed up at all. If you look at his losses, he's losing to top 5 ranked fighters in one of the deepest, one of the toughest weight classes in all of MMA, the welterweights. I mean, him losing to Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman, I mean, come on. That to me, I don't, like, who cares that he lost to those guys? He's fighting Jake Paul. And the fact is, if Woodley was fighting guys ranked in, the 10 to 15 range in the UFC or unranked fighters in the UFC, I mean, he easily could win 10 fights in a row. He is still a top 10 welterweight in the world in MMA. Just because he's losing to a rank 2 guy, the top guy in Usman, a rank 4 fighter, it doesn't mean that he's not a top 10 fighter. It just means that he's not in the top 5. So it's very frustrating to see that. And then also, that is something that's frustrating where people are discrediting him. One thing where people are crediting him maybe a little bit too much is when they point to the fact that he's been a main event fighter and he's been going 5-minute rounds. So he's gone 25 minutes in a cage fight, which does give you credibility with the endurance. But at the same time, we are talking about cage fighting, which is completely different, because if you get tired in cage fighting, there are so many ways to regain your energy. You can lay on a dude can lay on you, you can pin someone against the cage. How many times do we see guys get gassed? We know they're absolutely gassed, and they hold a dude up against the fence for 30 seconds. They kick a dude in the nuts and get a 5-minute break. Right? There are so many ways out. Now, I don't know how many of Woodley's fights got stopped like that in his main event fights, but I'm just saying, not all of his 25-minute fights were just standing up and throwing punches the entire time. And when we did see him do that against Covington, he did gas out, which, I mean, Covington puts a pace on people. So again, I don't think Jake Paul is in as good a shape as Colby Covington, and I don't think Jake can put the pressure on that Colby put on when he got that TKO over Woodley 2 fights ago. So not Woodley's most recent loss, but his second most recent loss. So I think maybe we don't need to give Woodley a huge advantage in the cardio, but when you look at Jake's cardio, the only time we've really seen it tested is his first fight. So it's very tough to handicap or predict how good of cardio Jake has. Obviously, the dude has been training like a maniac. This means so much to Jake, and it has meant so much to Jake since he started doing this. And he has huge goals, so we can be assured that he is doing 2 days, 3 days, every single day for the past 3 years. So Jake's in as good a shape as he possibly can get in. Now, I personally believe that pro athletes in any sport, they have a genetic advantage. So in a sport like wrestling that Woodley's been high level at, MMA, I think a lot of these guys have genetically advantaged cardio. So like if they didn't work out and I didn't work out and we ran a 1 mile race, they would beat me. So I know that Woodley is not only advantaged like genetically, but he's also at the top. So even though Jake Paul is at the top of his game and he's as fit as he possibly can be, I don't know if that is more fit than Woodley, right? And what I would say is in Jake's only fight that went past the first or second round, where we really got to see his cardio, was against Deji. It was 3 years ago, and he got punched in the face a few times. He really started bleeding out of his nose, and he revealed after the fight several times in interviews. This was like 3 years ago, so you may not have seen this, but he revealed that he is an easy nosebleeder, which, whatever that is, I guess he gets punched in the nose and he just starts pouring out blood. Now, I bring that to you because if his nose is clogged with blood, which it most likely will be, because Woodley is probably going to get a couple punches to his face, whether he wins or lose, that's really going to hurt Jake's cardio. So these are all angles that you can take. I think it's a pretty close to a 50-50 fight. I think I would give Jake a slight advantage. I think Jake will win this fight, but at the number we have to lay, we'll go to bovada.lv. If you need a place to bet on the fight, go to bovada.lv. Use my email, sportsbettingeducation@gmail.com. It's just my username at gmail.com. You'll get up to $750 sign-up bonus. I'll get $100 free play, so appreciate it if you use me as a referral. But I don't think there's any value in here at all. I guess if you really want to root against Jake or you really want to root for Jake, it'd be a fun bet. But I think all the value is in the over-under 3.5 rounds. So this is where my premium play is right here. I can tell you, wow, the line has moved because this was minus 110 on both sides when we played the premium play. So I won't tell you what side we're on because people have paid me for that prediction. But this 3.5 round mark, I think, that is where the investors are getting money down. There are limits on this, so I don't think you'd be able to get 10K, 100K down, anything crazy like that. Maybe you could, because you probably could go to multiple books and probably could get as much down as you want to get down. I'm just putting 5% of my bankroll down, nothing insane, but I'm very confident this is going to be a nice return for us. So yeah, there's all these different angles that you can take. Let me know in the comment section what you're betting on, how you're approaching this fight, what your predictions are, maybe the fighter and the round they'll win. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching to the end. SBEnation.com if you want my prediction, and I'll send you that email. See y'all in the next video. Peace.